Welcome to this WiseOwl tutorial on using Copilot 365. Here's what you'll learn during the tutorial. So we'll begin with a look at what Copilot is and the considerable benefits that it will bring you, but also what it takes in terms of cost, basically. We'll then look at a worked example using Outlook, a worked example using Excel, and a worked example linking a couple of apps together. And I hope that these three examples should be sufficient to give you the idea of whether Copilot 365 is for you. But that's enough of looking at me. I'm going to vanish now, and let's get started. So there you are, sitting at your office in a Microsoft 365 working environment. It's probable they'll be working with some of these apps. Teams, so you can talk to each other. Excel, so you can create spreadsheets. Forms, so you can do surveys. SharePoint, so you can manage your company's or organization's data. To-do lists you might want to create. Outlook, so you can send email. OneDrive to contain files and folders. Word, so you can create documents. And Power Automate, so you can create flows to link all the other apps together. There's then a barrier, and on the other side of the barrier is the wider world. And in that, you can use AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. But if you want to send any of your company's data across to those AI tools, you'll have to cross the great firewall into the wider world. And if you do that, you'll be passing your own company's data and possibly exposing it to the rest of the world. So tools like ChatGPT may well train their large language models based on the questions you ask, although you can ask them not to, admittedly. And there's always a danger that your company's confidential data could turn up as part of the answer to somebody else's question. A way around this is to ring-fence your data. It's actually called the tenant. So it's a little bit of the Microsoft Cloud which is devoted to your organization and is completely inaccessible to anyone else, provided you trust Microsoft, that is, which I think on balance I probably do. So what Copilot 365 does is it works not only on data on the internet, but also on data held within your tenant, and allows you to access all the emails and spreadsheets and forms and SharePoint lists and all the other confidential data held within your organization. So what are the pros and cons of this? The two big advantages are, firstly, that Copilot can see your data, and so you can answer questions based upon it. Show me the most important email I have to answer. Have a look through the Teams channel and see what people are saying about me. The other advantages, as I said, is you can retain privacy. So there's no way your data can be used to train a large language model and then be exposed to somebody else's view. The disadvantages? Well, it's expensive. This next screenshot is taken from the current website for Microsoft, and it shows that Copilot is $30 per month. But the critical thing is it's paid yearly. Now, if you've got a corporate license, this isn't going to affect you. But if you're an individual subscriber, you're going to end up paying upfront about £200 or £300. Sorry, it depends on the dollar exchange rate to subscribe to Copilot. Now, I'm not going to go into any more detail on that because A, Microsoft pricing is so insanely complicated, and B, it's likely to change at short notice. But Copilot is an additional cost at the moment over and above your 365 license, which is a significant outlay, I would say. So let's begin with an example to do with Outlook to get into the swing of things. I'm going to use a well-known search engine to Google Copilot 365, and then I can click on the link to take me to Copilot 365. It would normally at this point ask me to log in. You can see I'm already logged in as Delegate 78 as it happens, so I can just go to 365 Copilot. Now the question I'm going to ask is this. Scroll to the top. Summarize my unread inbox emails in a table containing 3 columns with the following titles. So I want the sender, the subject, and the description of the email. The description should be a summary of the purpose of the email in not more than 30 words. And finally, I've said, finish by telling me which email you think I should answer first, i.e. which is most urgent. So this is a pretty useful search to run because it will tell me what my first 5 emails are and which one I should answer immediately. A word of caution. If I go to my apps and have a look at Outlook, you can see, or will see in a second, that this is just a test machine and the inbox isn't very exciting. For example, one of them says, look at my horse. So it's going to be interesting how it manages to determine which of these useless emails is actually the most important, but the principle holds. So let's see what this actually gives us if I go back to my chat window and run that. And after a short while, it will come up with exactly what I asked for. I've only got 3 unread emails, so that's what it's counted. That's why it's not giving me 5. And for each email, it's given me the sender, the subject, and the description as I asked for. And then it says, none of these emails appear to be urgent or require a reply. They're all welcome or informational message. So it's a really, really good answer, I think. So there's one example of how you can use Copilot 365 to become more productive in Outlook. So for our next example, what I want to do is look at this list of films. For each film, there's a title and a review. So for example, B Movie is a title, and the review is the only film with more buzz than Toy Story. Fairly reasonable joke, I guess. But what I wanted to do is to pick out the 5 reviews which it thinks are funniest and display them in an extra worksheet in the same workbook. So let's see how much of that works well. Just close this down. And in OneDrive, what I'm going to do is upload that. So I'll choose Files, Upload the file, and in a short while, it will appear there. So what I'm now going to do is ask Copilot to do what I asked. My OneDrive root folder contains an Excel workbook listing out films. I haven't told it what it's called though. Each film has a review against it. Create a new worksheet in this workbook called Funniest, and in it list out the 5 films with the funniest reviews using your subjective opinion to determine what funniest means. So I'm asking it really to do 2 things. One is to use its artificial intelligence to work out what funny means and pick out the 5 funniest reviews. And the other is just to do the grunt work of creating a spreadsheet on my behalf to save me time. I'm not expecting this to work perfectly, but I'm trying to show a warts and all approach to tutorials because there's nothing worse than watching a tutorial where everything works perfectly. But when you come back to do it yourself, nothing works. So it looks like I wasn't able to access the Excel workbook because the file wasn't uploaded. Well, that's disappointing because it really is. I'm going to tell it the file is called filmreviews.xlsx. Let's see if that jogs its memory. It shouldn't need this information, I don't think. There's only 3 files. It should be able to look down them, open each one up, and work out which one I'm talking about. But it turns out that was a bit of information it needed to do the work, and it's picked out the top 5 funniest film reviews. For example, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, which I haven't actually seen. There's a leak in my boat. Best joke ever. Oh, that seems a reasonable choice. So it's now saying I'll now create a new worksheet called Funniest and populate it with these entries. To proceed, please confirm whether you'd like me to add this new worksheet directly to the existing file. Well, I do, but I'm not confident it will actually do it. Let's see what happens. So if I click on Add the worksheet to the existing file, I think it's going to say I can't do it. And sure enough, it looks like I wasn't able to access it directly. So it's saying to proceed, please update the file. I'll add the funniest worksheet and I'll return the updated version to you, which I'll then have to log into OneDrive. So it's not perfect, but it's not bad. So let's do what it asks. So I'm going to upload an image or file. I'll upload the film reviews, confirm that. And what it should now do is to insert a worksheet into that workbook and present me with the final workbook. Now, the first time I tried this, it didn't work the first time. What I had to do is say, can you try again, please? And sure enough, there's a technical issue adding it due to a compatibility problem with the Excel writer. So this is actually down to the Python script that's running in the background, I suspect. And I could, if I like, click, would I? If I click on that, yes, I'll see the Python script. So this is what it's trying to do using data frames. But it's now tried again and it's succeeded the second time. Would I like to download the updated file? If so, let me know and I'll provide it for you right away. Is it stalling? Yes, please provide the updated file. If I run that, can't help feeling it's trying to prevaricate here, but here is my updated file. Except I suspect that's not a clickable link. It isn't. So I'm going to tell it that link isn't clickable, which I've spelt without an E on the end, but I'm sure it can work out what I mean. Let's try it again. Still can't click on this. This wasn't meant to go quite so wrong, I must admit. Now, on other occasions, it's worked much better than this, and I'm not meaning to slag off Copilot 365. And if this doesn't work, I will give up. Okay. On this occasion, it's refusing to give me a clickable link. So that's a disappointing end. In principle, it would have actually worked. It's worked on previous occasions, given me the workbook. I'm going to resist the temptation to edit this to make it work perfectly, because as I say, I want to show my tutorials warts and all. Basics of what it did there were pretty impressive. It read down the file, picked out the 5 funniest films, put them into a separate worksheet, and the fact that I can't actually see it on this occasion is just a minor glitch, I think. For the final part of this tutorial, what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is assume the role of a complaining data person. I don't think much acting is going to be required, to be honest, but we'll see. If I go into my apps and have a look at a SharePoint, I can then look at my sites, and I can see there's quite a few sites here, and I strongly suspect that many of them aren't being used. So what I'm going to do is to ask Copilot to do this. I suspect that most of the SharePoint sites on our 365 tenant aren't needed or used. Please can you post an angry message to Teams on my behalf, listing out the names of the SharePoint sites and when each was last accessed, asking whoever is responsible for creating the extra pointless SharePoint sites to remove them as soon as possible. And I think Copilot is going to have at least 3 problems with this. One is it hates conflict, so it's really not going to like posting an angry message. I think also it won't be able to post to Teams. It'll be able to compose a message, but won't actually be able to post for me. But also I think it might struggle to find when the SharePoint sites were last accessed. Let's see how much what I said is true. So you can see it says I couldn't find any documents that contain that kind of usage data, so I was right about that. To move forward, I can help you draft a message that's firm but professional. I just want you to do what I asked you to. What it has a habit of doing is also coming up with a list of related files which are completely unrelated. This is a manual contained in the OneDrive. I can't see why it's listing it. So what I'm going to do is say, yes, draft the message now. I wonder if it's going to make it angry or just firm and professional. And that's pretty angry. It's become painfully clear our Microsoft 365 tenant is overflowing. Let's stop hoarding digital junk. I like this. This is a good message. So it's saying, would you like me to help you post this directly to a specific Teams channel? So yes, post this, please. It was not going to be able to, I don't think. So it says I can't post it to Teams directly, but here's how you can do it yourself. So it's given me instructions and come up with a pretty good message as well. It hasn't on this occasion listed out the names of the sites. Did it up above? It didn't. But on previous occasions, it has done. So I just need to say, please change the message to list the site names. And then it should give me a good message to post. Okay, so it hasn't been able to list the SharePoint sites. It came up with a Python course manual, which is why I listed that file earlier. Quite why sometimes it is able to do things and sometimes it isn't, I don't know. I ran this just a few minutes ago and it worked absolutely perfectly. But on this occasion, I think I'm going to have to live with that. So again, I'm absolutely not meaning to diss Copilot 365. I think it's excellent and will save you vast amounts of time. But it does seem to have a few weird glitches. And it's disappointing. I keep seeing them when I rerun queries. But again, I'm going to resist the temptation to redo this because you might as well see it warts and all, because this is how it will work for you, I suspect. So that completes 3 examples to do with Copilot 365. If we used 365 properly as a company in Wise Owl, I think I would be using this all the time. It would save me vast amounts of time every day, even despite the glitches. However, most of our stuff, I'm afraid, is still on desktop. So for us, it wouldn't make a great deal of difference and doesn't justify the quite large annual price. There's so much more on our website at wiseowl.co.uk, including blogs, shorter tips, tutorials on SQL and VBA, hundreds of exercises in all sorts of different software applications, and a chance to test your skills in a few selected software applications. In addition to all of that, you can watch our video tutorials like this one in all these different subjects. Or you could consider booking one of our training courses, whether it be classroom, on-site, or online, or even as one-to-one consultancy. Thank you for watching.